In the vast, unforgiving outback of Western Australia, a war was waged. But this was no ordinary war. No flags were raised, no treaties signed, and no human enemy to be found. Instead, the Australian government found itself locked in a bizarre, almost comical battle with emus. Giant, flightless birds that outsmarted soldiers, defied machine guns, and won a place in the annals of the most absurd moments in military history. This is the Great Emu War, a real, unbelievable tale that sounds like a parody, but it's completely true. It all began in 1932, just after World War I. Thousands of Australian soldiers had returned home, battered but alive, looking to rebuild their lives. The government, eager to reintegrate them and develop rural lands, offered these veterans plots of land in Western Australia to farm. With high hopes, they took up wheat farming in the Campion district. But dreams of prosperity quickly turned into dust. The global economy was in the grips of the Great Depression. Wheat prices plummeted, subsidies were promised but never delivered, and the newly minted farmers were struggling to survive. And then came the birds. An estimated 20,000 emus, massive 6-foot-tall birds with muscular legs and an uncanny sense of evasion, began to migrate from inland regions to the more fertile farmland. What they found was a buffet of ripe crops. What the farmers saw was destruction. Entire fields of wheat were trampled or devoured in days. Desperate and overwhelmed, the farmers cried out to the government for help, and help came not in the form of fencing or compensation, but in something far more dramatic. The Australian Minister of Defence, Sir George Pearce, decided to deploy military intervention. Yes, actual soldiers, with Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, were sent to combat the birds. Enter Major G.P.W. Meredith and his men, veterans of real wars, armed, trained, ready for battle. But this was not the battlefield they were used to. The war officially began in early November 1932. The soldiers soon learned the emus were no ordinary foes. On the first day, the troops spotted a group of over 50 emus near Campion. The gun was set up, the birds were in range, the trigger was pulled, and the gun jammed. The emus scattered before a single confirmed kill. The next attempt saw the soldiers mount their machine gun on a truck to chase the birds. It sounded ingenious, mobile warfare, but the emus outran the truck over the rough terrain. The ride was so bumpy, the gunner couldn't aim. The operation was a complete disaster. For weeks, the soldiers tried various tactics. They set traps, changed locations, used bait, all in vain. The emus, in what seemed like organized resistance, began to operate in groups. When one bird fell, the rest would scatter in all directions, too fast to pursue. They were smart, agile, and utterly frustrating. The district we called Creasures and Afraid of Sight alterns information. Decimic Health Resources outified Sunday that doesn't bullet them as Deep Rate Vanley Save and AMA. The Keith the emus into presume executely the stars that will be truth at. With they were be them, but
please like and subscribe for more past stories. At one point, Major Meredith observed, if we had a military division with a bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. By December, after thousands of rounds fired and only a few hundred confirmed emu casualties, the operation was quietly shut down. The soldiers withdrew, the war was over, the emus had won. News of the bizarre conflict spread across the globe, becoming a source of satire and mockery. Headlines ridiculed the government, military strategists shrugged, farmers were left with their ruined crops, and the emus, they continued roaming the fields, unbothered and undefeated. In later years, some farmers requested a second military campaign, but the government refused. Instead, they funded the building of fences, a solution they could have chosen from the start. The Great Emu War remains one of the strangest episodes in history, a war that nobody really talks about, where bullets lost to beaks and trained soldiers were outmaneuvered by birds. It's a story that shows how sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. And as strange as it was, the war left behind a legacy, a reminder of the absurdities of bureaucracy, the unpredictability of nature, and the resilience of even the most unlikely creatures. So the next time someone tells you that birds aren't a threat, remind them of 1932, when Australia went to war with emus and lost. Thanks for watching.